Please keep that applause going for Charlotte Harker.
Hey! Oh.
This is called awake. Eve could not sleep. She climbed out of bed. She sat on the edge. The mattress gave way and groaned. Eve wanted to sleep. Her body ached. Why did her body ache? What was that ache and that ache and that ache? That was a new ache, Eve thought. She had too many aches, each ache its own peculiar ache. Eve could not sleep. Eve wanted to sleep. Why couldn't she sleep? She was worried. Why was she worried? She had too much to do. She was running out of time. She hadn't done enough. She was so tired that she didn't have the energy to sleep. Eve stood up. The mattress exhaled. She remembered once how she would leap out of bed every morning at 8 a.m. It was 3 a.m. now. There would be no leaping. Eve heard a voice. She was wearing headphones. She made to pull them away without turning off the sleep meditation recording. Before she did, she heard the voice of an Antipodean man describe a walk through an enchanted forest. Enchanted how? Eve did not know. The man described how he reached a stream and crouched to cut water in his hands and drink. Eve thought that was a disgusting thing to do, imagining all the nasty bacteria in those gulps of water. Eve pulled away the headphones which fell upon the floorboards. Eve went to the kitchen. She was sure she heard whispering, which stopped when she entered. She went to the sink. She turned on the cold tap. She cut water in her hands and splashed it on her face, trying to avoid swallowing any. She said hello to the houseplants, which responded with perfunctory greetings. She looked at the kitchen clock. It was 3:15 a.m. Outside it seemed quiet as far as she could tell, and the darkness pressed against the window. Eve wondered what had happened to her circadian rhythm, even though she did not know precisely what that was. She picked up her phone from the kitchen table and tapped, waited and read. A circadian rhythm is the body's 24-hour internal clock that regulates cycles of sleep, wakefulness, and other physical and behavioural processes, largely in response to light and dark. Eve was jealous of all those humans who were now in blissful sleep, wakefulness, synchronicity. Eve remembered that her friend June once tried a biphasic sleep cycle common in pre-industrial societies. She told Eve that she slept for a few hours, was awake for a while, and then slept a second time until dawn. However, she said that she returned to the continuous block of sleep because she said she started hearing and seeing things. A talking cat, for example. Eve's friend June did not have a cat, yet she insisted that a cat had advised her to go back to the monophasic sleep pattern. Eve brought herself back to the present. It was 4 a.m. She was still in the kitchen. Motivated by hunger pangs, she prepared scrambled eggs mixed with yoghurt, biscuits and celery before she realised too late what she had done. She was too tired to start again, so she persisted. One of the houseplants, a Japanese bird's nest fern called Elgar, pointed out to Eve that the ingredients might not work well together. Eve replied by saying that she didn't care. Elgar reminded Eve that she used to care and added that, no offence, but he thought she had let herself go. Eve told Elgar to mind his own business. Elgar began to sulk and muttered that he was only trying to help. Eve sat at the kitchen table and ate the scrambled eggs. She thought it was not as challenging a dish as it first appeared. It was 4:15 a.m. Eve took a spoonful of raspberry sorbet, which she now realised she was eating. It was 4:30 a.m. She couldn't remember when she'd finished her scrambled eggs and returned to the bedroom to eat the sorbet. It was 4:35 a.m. She finished eating. She went to the kitchen and put the empty sorbet carton into the recycling bin. Elgar muttered, "Well done, Eve." Eve glared at Elgar. Eve returned to bed and pulled the covers over her. She decided against listening to the Antipodean man in the enchanted forest, mainly because he'd not made it clear why the forest was enchanted. Eve closed her eyes. She drifted into sleep. It was 5:15 a.m. At 7:30 a.m, Eve put her phone on the bedside table after checking the time. She had noticed the phone had 20% battery power remaining. She connected the charging cable. The phone vibrated. It was as if Eve had restarted its heart. The phone said, "Thank you." Eve replied, "You're welcome." Eve climbed out of bed. She congratulated herself on managing to sleep. She went into the kitchen, apologised to Elgar, and made a cup of tea.
Charlotte Harker, thank you so much.
I have a couple of my books which are collections of poems and prose outside with my drawings that go with them. I try to put drawings with them. Anyway, thanks a lot.
Charlotte Harker, so lovely to have you back at the diner. We've missed you. We've missed you. And as you leave, when you see the books at the front, do feel free to have a leaf through. You don't have to buy to have a look. Charlotte's drawings are beautiful. She's an artist as well as a wordsmith, so they're worth a lovely